Hello everyone, this is Colin on the ASCA League channel, and welcome back. This is the third video about the Pennzoil Pro Series and Copyright Amateur Series Season 4, and we are heading very steadily into the painting season. And in fact, we are pretty much here because this is the Pennzoil Pro Series paint video. And we are here, and this is probably one of the favorite times of the year for a lot of you guys because you get to choose your paint schemes. And we end up with a lot of guys that you see over here, down there, around there. All the cars on the screen here were painted for Season 3, and I can't wait to paint a bunch more for Season 4. We had 500 cars between the two series last season, and it took about I'm going to say 1.5 to 2 months to complete. And it was not fun at parts, but it definitely, we made it through, and we were able to get to the end. This year, though, I have a much better idea going forward, and I think we might be able to get this season started within the next 2 or 3 weeks. That's very hopeful for me, but obviously there's a lot of things that can go into changing that. But that's the plan for now, and I'm going to tell you how to do it. Also, but before we get started with the painting video, I want to go over a few things that have been on my mind, and as well as just a follow-up for the update video, because other than a paint video, this is mostly an update video as well, and I want to talk more about the Pennzoil Pro Series. I'll throw out for the Copyright Amateur Series the Amateur Award Trophy that I talked about in the update, the big change that was going to play out this year. Nothing's really changed. It's still going to be for the part-timers, so using the same point system that the full-timers use, and we'll declare a champion for that trophy at the end of the year. Nothing's changed. If anything does, I'll make sure you guys know about it in the Copyright Amateur Series paint video. That is an important factor. This is not for Copyright Amateur Series drivers, only for Pennzoil Pro Series. The Copyright Amateur Series will be coming later. We're still having sign-ups. Don't know when they'll end officially. Sign-ups actually never end for the Copyright Amateur Series. You can sign up mid-year if you want. But for prelims signups, that will get you into the Daytona races, and Daytona qualifyings at least will be over. I would guess maybe in a day or two. I'm gonna let just some stragglers come in at the very end. We've kind of come to a crawl. We had a bunch of people sign up the first day, but we've really tanked when it comes to amount of people signing up. I think we've only got one or two in the past 2 days that have signed up. So we're about to end sign-ups off here pretty quick, and the Copyright Amateur Series paint video will follow up. Anyways, though, mostly about the Pennzoil Pro Series, and I was just about to turn into Yoda there, but the rest of this video is going to be mostly about the Pennzoil Pro Series. So the first thing I'm going to go into is the schedule. Now, if you remember back to Seasons 1 through 3, I used to do the schedule and where I had it done by the time I did the paints video. That's not the case this time. I don't have the schedule even close to being done. Well, I mean, kind of. I have all the races here ready to go. I know you can't see my mouse, but I'm kind of circling the screen here. But these are all the tracks that are going to be on the schedule. All of them are returning tracks except for the addition of Kentucky. The only track that has been removed has been Taylor Swift Superdome, which was the All-Star race. This year it's going to be Texas, and as you see it down there on the very bottom labeled, it's the All-Star race. So, and just before I go on, I want to show you a proposed plan I have. This is the proposed plan of where the series will go. Now, I've gotten a lot of criticism that the part on the right here looks really, really confusing. But when you consider a lot of other NR leagues, it would look like a huge mess. The only reason why I'm trying to map it out like this is so I can try to gain some linearity. But obviously, as you see here, I've kind of made it twist and turn a little bit. But I honestly think it's not that big of a deal. I have a few people working with me to try to make a good schedule up. But we'll see where that goes. But and the huge problem, if you're wondering, that's Bristol Motor Speedway. That's going to be the first race of the chase, and I have a huge problem with that because Bristol tends to be one of those tracks that a lot of people wreck out at, and that could be any one of the chasers wrecking out and then dropping out of the chase in the first race, which deservedly so. They should not be dropping out that early. So I like to make it a track that usually does not have many problems. Texas did not deliver last year, as we saw that giant wreck that took out multiple chasers. But obviously, we're going to try to find a track that's suitable for the first race of the chase, and that is not called Bristol. So that's the schedule. And if you're returning from 3 seasons ago, you may think like, okay, but wait a second. You need the schedule for the paints video because your sponsors are listed in order for what race they'll appear at. And that's how I used to do it, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do it this time after I show you just an example of what we did last year. I'm going to use Carson Scott as an example. He's not returning this year, sadly, but this was his driver's sign-up paint roster. And as you see, we have 0 through 24, including some special races like 0.5, 0. The duels are not in here, but that would be right in here. It's the same car that you use for Daytona, but and then I had how many races it appeared on, stuff like that. But this was really confusing, and I don't blame you guys for mixing some of this up, because a lot of you guys were requesting weird paint designs, and I was kind of confused, like how could so many people screw up the colors so bad? And that's when I kind of realized something, that you guys probably do not know some of these sponsors. I'm a sucker for using sponsors that many people don't know about, because I try to like bring some attention to smaller companies, and it makes it a little bit more realistic since we're not big old NASCAR. We're a smaller series like ASCA. In the fantasy world, it tends to lie underneath the ARCA series, so it would make sense if you get some companies that you don't know about. And I'll talk about that in just a second. But as you see, Atlas, like, that's all I put for Carson Scott. Now, if he's looking at this and he wants to make a paint job, he might not, like, even take the time to look up what Atlas is and just might throw out a paint design anyway. And this is what I'm talking about. This is Atlas, and it's Atlas Door and Hardware. Now, door and hardware, it is a really important term to know about when you're considering this. And as you see, like, if I just type in Atlas, this is what comes up. You're not gonna find the logo that I was just looking at. Not if unless you go like way far down. Like maybe we'll see it down here. I don't know, but like this may be what you like if you take the time to look up Atlas. This is what you see, and this is probably what you're gonna think I was meaning by Atlas, but it's not. I was talking about this logo. So now that I've kind of introduced that was the main problem behind this way of doing things. Not only that, it was kind of confusing. Like for people that are just starting off with the series, they probably didn't understand what all this was. I tried my best to explain it, but it really was a really confusing concept as well. So with that in mind, I decided to come up with a Google Sheets way of doing things, and I have transferred all the sponsors to Google Sheets. Now, as you see here, we have all the drivers from the Pennzoil Pro Series. Down below, we actually have some drivers from the Copper Amateur Series. This is actually everything from Season 3, so take no, like, this is not what you're going to get if you're thinking you're getting a sneak peek at Copper and Amateur Series signups. That's just for reference when I ended up doing that. But as of now, everything you see here in the Pennzoil Pro Series is official. And as you see here, we got a little bit of a key up here. Number, driver, primary, secondary, and other. And as we see here, we got Nick Purcell's. Oh, and by the way, ignore the number signs. For some reason, if I try to type in 00, it just goes straight to 0. It doesn't acknowledge the 0 in front of it, so that's why I had to do the pound sign. But as you see, Nick Purcell's here. He will have Old Spice, Micron Technology, AOL Internet, and Sands Corporation. And then Arsha Sane down here below. You see Blue Point by Snap-on, Lally's Foods, Core 24 Hand Purifier, and Public Supermarkets. And you just go down the list. And as you see here, everything is on one page instead of going back here and me having to go through each one of these like this. All the way down, all through 48. I think this is such a better way of doing it, and I hope you guys do think as well. Now, if you already haven't seen yourself, as you see here, here's all the drivers on the right side. This is only for Pennzoil Pro Series. So look for your driver here, and look across from where you are. As you see, August Eberhard, I'm going to use as an example. He has 2 sponsors, Shining Monkey Car Care and Alliance Garage Door Openers, following him from the Copper and Amateur Series. Those are your sponsors. That's the primary sponsor that will appear on the hood of the car. Like, you may have some other sponsors. I'm not going to go ahead and list them because you're not going to be making a paint scheme for them. But these are the main sponsors that you're going to be making a car for. So what you do is you see Shining Monkey Car Care. If I am August Eberhard, Monkey Car Care logo. Like, you type in logo if you really need it. And as you see here, we have Shining Monkey. And that is what your sponsor will be. So now that you can see the colors, you can think of a paint scheme that would go well with it, and we'd all be a lot more happier and less stressed out because you may not know what your sponsor is. Because if I just put like Shining Monkey, maybe something else comes up. I don't know, but that's a pretty unique name. But like going back to Atlas, like it's Atlas. If it was just Atlas, you wouldn't know what it is. But luckily, I have added some describing words after it. If you get to a car and you think that I might be wrong with what I'm typing in, just tell me in the comments. I'll be happy to see if I made a mistake somewhere. I try my best to add some description words because there are a lot of sponsors in here that are a little bit under the radar when it comes to noticeability. So if you have any questions, just ask me. And anyways, that's the sponsors. So hopefully you got to see yours, and hopefully you understand who you're going with. And one final thing before I leave you guys, with the sponsors at least, these are not all confirmed yet. And they're not all confirmed in a race yet either. These are only confirmed as of right now. And the beauty of having Google Sheets is that I can go in and I can update this. And I can, like once signups come out for you, I'm pre-recording this video. Once this video comes out, you might click on the link to go to this page, and you might have a sponsor right here. But in the video, it's not here. So make sure you go ahead and check out this page. I'm going to have a link for it in the description below. You can go click it, and then you can come to this page. It'll be a read only, so you can't like go and mess with someone else's stats. But just look at your sponsor. Just make up a good paint scheme for it. If you don't end up requesting a paint scheme, I'll end up making it for you. You can ask for me to make it for you if you want anyway. That will actually make things easier for me. But if you want to make a paint scheme for it, just please request in the description below. Or, I mean in the comments below. This is the video to do it. So the paint templates will also be in the description. Use those. And anyways, that's about it for paints. Now I got one more thing that I want to show off. I probably should have showed this off at the beginning of the video. But this is the ASA League charity event that I was talking about in the update video. This is Race 25 and it'll be held at Homestead. We had one last year. We're having one again this year to attract sponsorship for the winner. So as you see, we have, how many people do we have? I think we had 22. I think it's 22. But as you see, we have two drivers in green, and it's Julio Caesar and John Arndt. I know these two drivers are active, and they both comment on the videos a lot. That's the only reason why they're in this this race. These 22 drivers are the highest commenting people on the channel. Thank you all so much for your support. But you guys have to find a ride to get into this. These are Pennzoil Pro Series cars, so both Julio and John, you both have to get into a team. If you don't end up commenting saying what team you want to be on, I'll throw you in one before the race starts. Don't worry, you're not just going to be excluded. But you guys get to make a decision for yourselves if you want to join a team and what car you want to race. So that's about all I got to say. This is the ASA League channel signing off. Make sure you make some good paints. And one last look. And if you have any problems with your sponsors or you want to request one before the series starts, go ahead and ask, I guess. It's pretty much these are all confirmed at this point. So anyways, without further ado, see you all guys later. And I can't wait to start painting.